Guess who has a problem with shelves? If you couldn't guess, it is moi. Anyway, this is my first job, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I hated shelves, shelving, the thought of it, and why you guys will understand. Now, before I get into it, and before anyone is like, ungrateful, look, I was referred to this job and I was kind of forced to do it. I'm still grateful for the experience, however, the shelves, no. For context, I worked in a pharmacy and I didn't expect myself to handle what I was meant to handle. To be honest, I didn't expect myself to handle medicine because I wasn't qualified and I was just getting used to the place. Also, I was part time. I was definitely not ready for the full time experience and I'm glad I didn't. But anyway, so I was assigned my first task and you can probably guess what it includes. Okay, I was just given some things to put onto the shelves, right? I don't have a problem. Let's say that I didn't have a problem with shelves during this time because it's just a shelf. What can it possibly do? And they just started to give me baskets where it was just filled with shampoos, body wash, face wash, etc. And then I was just thinking, okay, this is kind of fun. I just had to organize them. And there was like five of each shampoo, body wash, face wash. They told me that, oh, I can just leave that. And then I thought I was gonna take a break. And then they bring out a second basket full of stuff. And I had to put stuff on the shelves again. I was thinking, these people have things on a shelf everywhere. It's like every single shelf I saw was completely filled. Then they told me, oh, but even if you can't see it, you still have to push some of the products back because they were in a row, so one behind the other. So I just had to push it back and there was more space for more products. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing this as a job. Let me actually try to get myself invested. And it was literally all I was doing. So I just had to pick up some products and place them. Easy as that, right? And then I was just looking forward to my lunch break and I was just having a hard time processing. Is this seriously what they do with work? This is my first job, mind you. And I was just like, what? There is no way my whole life could just be resorting to shelving. And no offense to anyone who does this, props to you because I do not enjoy it at all. So I saw some customers and they were just doing their own thing. Some of them were actually a bit rude. Luckily, no one snapped at me. I was new to the job and they were just telling me, oh, in case if you need this in the future, it's right here. Okay, make sure you pay attention. And I was like, okay, thanks. I can't be rude because customer service is key. I would get fired if I did anything that I wasn't meant to do, quite literally and quite obviously. So I was just praying, let me do something different. And then one time I was done with all the baskets and I felt so liberated, guys. I was thinking, I've got to be free from this burden. And then my manager was walking towards me. I thought he was going to say, well done, because that's a lot of baskets, right? It's filled with so many of the same things and other things. And then he comes up and gives me another freaking basket full of the same junk. And then one time, there were no baskets. That day was actually what seemed like a miracle. And then they told me and someone else who was working alongside me to go to the storeroom where a lot of shelves were kept and more products. And then on top of that, there were baskets. So I just had to endure what I could to just put the things in the basket and take my leave. That was all that job was. I could not last there for long. I literally had to be like, you know what? I am going to bid farewell to this. Oh, yeah, since people barely know me, please subscribe, like the video, comment, do whatever you need to do, and I'll try my best to come up with more and more stories. I'm trying so hard to fight art block. This one, I can't really color images as much as I used to because they take forever, but I will try my best, guys, to do high quality pieces for you all. Thank you for watching and have a good one. And please, don't get yourself into a shelf situation like me.